your host, James, and I got my co-host with me, John.
How's it going?
We are on episode 2, which is amazing. I thank you guys for following us, hitting likes, and just listening to us. And I'm very glad and thankful for that. And please keep listening to us.
It's truly amazing.
So today, me and John are going to talk about Rock Hall and the unexplained. Oh man, John called me all excited. What was it, last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, and
what's strange is like I have an addiction. I can't help it. I always look to the sky, and I can't help it ever since my first sightings. It's like a drug. You got to have more. You got to see it. You got to know that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm driving down. What's our road here? 298.
298. Yeah.
Driving towards Rock Hall, and I see. And as I normally do, I look up. I see planes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just happened to see weird red 3 down on a diagonal red, and then right behind it 3 diagonal of a blue.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't ever think I've seen a pattern like that on a plane before, especially dark blue. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever, but it was about twilight. So like you could see the object, but you can't see it clearly.
Yeah.
And the lights were bright. I started following it. I'm following it with everything I got, looking, trying, and I got a car behind me with his lights right in my rear. I can't see.
Yeah, blinding you out.
Yeah. I go down Bayshore Road to get better view because there's nice open fields. I make the turn, and I was getting close to it because you could really, looked really close. Yeah. I turned the corner to get down there, and it's gone. Like, it was just here.
Yeah, and he called me up so freaking excited. I was just like, we just talked about this.
That was the weird. That was what was weird about it. We were just covering stuff like this, and it's just like, well, here you go. Have this to talk about.
Yeah, and if somebody has any idea what it could be, let us know.
Maybe they've seen it before I did, and they were like, oh, it's a helicopter or whatever. That's cool, but to me, it's
unexplained.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's a UFO. It was
odd.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah. Like me.
That's not saying much.
No. And those me could agree with that easily. That's crazy. Hey, imagine like being like an alien up there just flying by, and he's looking down in your car going, I wonder what he's thinking.
Slap the doors.
Yeah. That's awesome though, man. It was amazing when you called me up because it's like we just talked about it and it got me kind of like pumped up. Like, man, I wish I was there. Like we're just in a 4x4 truck hopping people's fields. Sorry, farm guys.
I would do it.
Yeah. And if any of you guys, like I said, if any of you guys know, let us know. But I was just doing a lot of research, and I'll pull up, like I was looking up railroads. And the funny thing is, we were talking about Sudlersville, and our next episode is going to be Sudlersville. But in Sudlersville area, I couldn't find anything on any paranormal on the railroads. Like, I know there's stories for a fact. It's got to be.
Well, I mean, you said you shouldn't find any paranormal about railroad
on
tracks?
The internet. I mean, come on.
It's
Eastern Shore. We'll give it that too. So it's a small community and all that. Found a lot on history. And I'm specifically talking about Sudlersville. Now, if we go into other locations like, the Night House or, whatever up in Georgetown and places.
Gettysburg.
Yeah.
The train station in Gettysburg is haunted, period. So.
Yeah. Gettysburg's a hot spot. The end.
I got a couple of stories up in there.
That's where we need to go camping and just sit out there with some gear. And
what are you talking about? I go camping up there at least twice a year.
Well, then you could go camping, set up some gear.
Well, that's where my experience has come from camping up there.
I've been to Gettysburg 3 or 4 times. I definitely need to go. Yeah, I know. Up in Thurmont too. Like, yeah, I hikes up there. But what I find interesting, and the reason I'm bringing up the railroad stuff is because you have these, trains, locomotives, and all this cargo and passengers and all this energy stored up in this thing that's moving down a metal track. And all that energy is got to dissipate somewhere. It'll go into the tracks and then go into the spikes and then, of course, go into the ground. If you're in an area that's a hotspot with limestone, or granite, or even crystals in the ground, you're charging these objects.
They hold charges.
Yep. And you're also fueling energy to spirits in the area.
Right.
So I look at it as a way for spirits to get source, and also look at it that if you're really diving into my brain, sorry guys,
it's a scary place.
Us as people are not as solid as we think we are. I mean, yeah, we're made of mostly water, but if you're looking at it as an atomic level, we're basically empty
energy.
Space. Yeah, we're full of energy.
Right.
And other energetic things can pass through one object to another, through an object, and good, bad, whatever, that gets charged. So if you had an entity that had something, or not even any, we'll screw the entity part. If you had an unexplained thing happening in your home, it could be something that was just manifested based off of bad energy or good energy, doesn't matter, and it just keeps getting fueled by objects in its area. It can also be disrupted by other energy objects like
TVs, whatnot, or renovating your home.
Yeah, renovating your home will definitely stir up some stuff.
Definitely usually starts stirring up stuff.
Yeah, you start pulling objects off a wall and using a hammer and changing what's going on with something, especially if it's used to that area. Yeah, and you all of a sudden you put a wall in,
you disturbed
it's going to get pissed. Yeah. So I would always bring, like, if your viewers had a situation where things were getting a little unruly, definitely talk to my sister. At Plus Magic, I have to say that because she is a medium.
Plus Magic.
Yeah, maybe
I love it.
Maybe she can help you out. Check her out on Facebook. I think she's got a channel on YouTube. I know she does on Spotify. And she could probably give some answers there for people who need help or guidance, or just need to have a reading done in general. So I am going to say that if it wasn't for her, now I'll try not to get a little emotional, that I wouldn't be doing this. She kind of helped push me over the fence. Yeah. So Becky, I love you, and please listen to this. But have you ever been in a house where as soon as you walked in, you just felt like something was there?
Yes. I was doing a service call in Centerville, and I know which house it is. It's the big red one with the black iron.
Gotcha.
Fencing and everything. Go in there for a service call, and the guy I'm with, Ryan, he's like, all right, you go upstairs and check these outlets, and I'll go down here. I'll stay down here and check these. Walked right in. It's like, there's something just not right.
Yeah.
And I start doing my thing because you get in work mode. And as I'm standing there, I'm testing some outlets, I just feel somebody standing behind me watching me. You turn around and you go, I know you're there.
Yeah.
I'm just here to do my job.
Right.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah.
And as soon as I left that room, it was just a little bit more eased up. Like I wasn't being watched. Like somebody over your shoulder going, what are you doing in my house? What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean,
that kind of eased up. Like, okay, you're just visiting.
I mean, how would you feel if somebody just walked in your house? Now, if they just walked in your house and start fixing electronic, I'd be like, hey, okay, man, do your job.
Thing.
But
somebody you don't know
trespassing, right. It'd be unwanted. I wouldn't like it. I mean, I've had my home broken into, and I've had stuff happen, and it pisses you off. And if I was a spirit, I'd feel the same way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but I wish my memory is as good as it normally is. I typically remember stuff I shouldn't, like what a dog looked like or something. But
well, that's how you used to remember stuff at work.
Yeah.
Was it that road that we went down and did this? I'm like, how do you? I don't remember that. Do I know the house? No. Yeah. It was that road there with that dog. Remember that dog?
Yeah. His name was Stevie. He was a golden retriever. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? But yeah. But I'm trying to remember that. It was a house. I can tell you what happened. There was a house I went into. I just can't remember where it was. All right. And the funny thing, you said, I think iron fence is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
It was similar to that. It had iron fencing on the front of it. I should say in the front of the yard, and they had a little gate entry. You go in there. I was allowed access to the place. Customer wasn't there. It was just me. When I got in the house and started doing work, I was basically doing, we'll say, making the place more secure. And I kept hearing footsteps, and I kept feeling like something was getting closer to me. You could feel the charge in the air, and my hairs were like, you get the hairs come up on your, you could feel the static. And I was like, I'm here just to work, and still could hear footsteps throughout the day. But I kept saying, "Yep, I'm just here to work,"
Just here to work.
because nobody was there. It was just me. But yeah, it was kind of freaky in a way.
That reminds me of one of the coworkers I used to work with. He's like, "Man, you guys will never believe what happened to me and such and such yesterday."
Mm-hmm.
Well, pony up, man. What happened to you guys? Something interesting? He says, "Yeah, we were at that job that we did to work in the basement." I said, "Oh yeah, I know that place." He goes, "Yeah, so we're down in the basement and the lights were on, and of course we're doing our work, and all of a sudden they go off."
Nice.
We're like, "Oh man, maybe the homeowner came in and didn't know we were down there." He says, "I go back up the steps, turn the light on, I look around, ain't nobody around. Go back down the steps. I don't even make it halfway down the steps, lights go back off."
Nice.
He said this happened like 3 or 4 times before we're like, "You know what? We're just here to do our thing."
I'd be like, "Turn the breaker off. Just kill this so it can't happen." If the lights come on at that point,
If you're turning them on to work, they're turning them off because they don't want you there.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though.
Yeah, it would be funny. Be a little warning like, click, click, click. Who keeps turning the freaking breaker off? It's not me, goddamn it.
I'm over here.
Then we start asking questions. It's either about wiring or about spirits and ghosts. Oh my god.
That stuff would happen a lot.
Yeah.
You go in a house you've never been into, or even one you've been into multiple times, and then stuff happens minute, and then it's more you work in done remodels.
Yeah.
Go in, nothing really happens, but as time goes on, as you keep going back, stuff progressively starts to happen. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
We're just here. Why are you here back? Stuff like that. We run into that a lot out in the trades.
Yeah. It's something I wish I would do more. Well, I'm going to now because I'm working on getting the equipment, but do more recordings and video, of things that are going on. Just crazy.
Right.
The thing with video is I just got to make sure that it's in an area that people allow the permission and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
So, and for you guys listening, that we are going to at some point be doing live video for investigations once, our pandemic clears up. But I am working on getting equipment so I can get started, and of course reach out to my sister and as well as you, and get to have a little bit of fun and find out what's going on in the world and be safe about it.
Yeah. You said about the iron fencing, which is weird because in other religions, because I do a lot of research on other
simply
religions,
used to attack, defend yourself, isn't it, against spirits?
No.
I'm guessing no. Okay.
Cold iron is used for protection.
Okay.
Now, if you find, like you said, railroad spikes, you
That's
take the
the
railroad
north-south.
spikes. You take the railroad spikes, you cross them, or you put them on the corners of your helm, and you say a little, protect this home, blah blah blah, and it's used to protect you.
Right.
It's not, negatively or positively charged. It's just that energy, and it's usually there for protection.
Yeah, I could see.
Which I don't understand how, if you're living in a house
Right.
with wrought iron fencing, maybe you're keeping it in instead of keeping it out.
Kind of like a Faraday cage for spirits.
Something like that.
That's a good point. That's actually,
It can't leave. It's stuck.
yeah. Maybe some kind of test we can come up with. I don't know how we figure it out, but basically it'd be like a spirit box, not like a recording spirit box, but a containment
cage.
Yeah, spirit cage. That's, I never really thought about that, but it's good to know. And the only reason I was talking to you about railroad spikes, and it came up. I was reading somewhere online about it. The witchcraft's not the right word. I think that's the wrong word. Period. It's how I read it. And even somebody commented, said that witchcraft wasn't the right word, and I agree. More than one reason. The main reason I agree is the fact that railroad spikes aren't that old. Let's be real. Railroads, if you look at the history of the world, railroads are not that old. If you look at
Actually,
how old we are as a
nation.
No, as the Earth.
Oh, Earth. Well,
yeah.
In that aspect.
Yeah.
But I'm talking. If you're going to one point.
Yeah.
Railroads have been around for almost 200 years.
Yeah.
So
1700s,
something like that.
1800s, maybe.
Yeah.
But you think about all the energy that's been put into them. Now, I'm not talking about new, now we got a lot of machinery that drives these railroads in and keeps them maintained. And there's a lot of human aspects still being done. But back in, old times when you had the Chinese labor,
Irish labor.
Yeah, the Irish labor, all this, slave work going into and non.
I wouldn't say slave, a penny on the dollar.
Yeah. But it's a lot of blood, sweat,
tears,
and a lot of energy, put into these railroads. Yeah. So I'm looking at it like not only the trains going down the track, but all this force and energy being driven into them. And the only reason I keep repeating it is I basically want people to understand how important it is as far as like what's being put into structures around our home. When you have things that are going on and somebody's building a railroad and they're hammering away at it, they are putting force into it. They're also putting emotion into it. Now, one of my thoughts is, and I say this to my martial arts students and they'll understand this, emotion equals motion, which means it equals energy. I feel the same way in the spirit realm. I think
that's why you should never go to work and bring your baggage with you.
Absolutely, leave it at work.
No, leave it at home.
Well, yeah, okay, that way too.
Right. So if you're going to work, you don't want to bring that energy with you.
Yeah.
Having a bad day, or
exactly,
a dog died, or
right,
something traumatic's happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to try to leave that where it's at and not bring it to you with work, because you can transmit it where you are. That's why when you're like having a bad day and I can't shake it, because you're not letting it go.
Yeah, exactly.
You're holding on to it. Now it's building. You're building that energy. The more you're between thinking about it and
you got to ground yourself.
Right. You got to ground yourself and then work on it later. Not able, so active.
Yeah. Now, did you want to dive into your beliefs and things like that, or is that okay? That'll be another time.
I know who listens to this.
Amen. Yeah, I mean, as far I know, I have. I'll just shift gears to me because the spotlight's
usually on you. You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I won't. Yeah, I do. I like the
Don't
attention.
deny it.
I don't. but I will say, look, I believe in God. I also believe I'm a spiritual soul. I believe in nature and the things around us. And when I say God, I use that term in a way that most people who I think are Christians don't use it. I'm not like that. I was grown up Methodist. My wife was grown up Seventh-day Adventist. We both have our own beliefs. She was.
Is it more along the lines of it's a greater thing out there instead of just God watches over us, God keeps his hand, God-fearing, blah, blah, Jesus and all that?
Right.
More of there's something bigger out there.
There's something bigger out there. That's my end all to it right there. It doesn't matter what you name it.
Right. Exactly.
Buddha, Muhammad, God, whatever. It doesn't matter. Allah, pick a name.
I like Odin.
If you live in India, they have many gods.
Oh yeah.
They have many gods.
Which is weird.
Yeah, God and goddesses.
You get on that.
Yeah.
For just a split second. Which I find weird is Greek, Egyptian, Norse. They all have 12 gods. Romans stole the Greek gods.
Yeah, this is true.
They're the same gods, just named after the planet. The planets are now. That's how you get the planet names. But what I'm saying is, if Christianity was late to the party of coming out, and everybody else from different regions of the world have 12 gods of like almost the same uses.
Right.
Explaining
away the disbelief and they have to explain the unknown.
Right. Is it did we come up with these names to justify things that are going on, or does it come down to it's just God?
Yeah. Well, I got to thinking about it. Like if you look at our universe as a whole, say, because we are just the teeniest of specks, we're smaller than a flea. You can't even really put a pinpoint on it. But if the universe as a whole is this abundance of energy, whether it started as a Big Bang or not, that's a thing. But however it is, if you looked at God, and I'm going to put it as a way that makes sense. I look at it as if everything as a whole in a positive charged state of energy in the entire universe was this all collective energy as a positive. That could be God. As, everybody's thinking and all this thing goes up in the universe. Because,
what about when the universe doesn't really like you? because I have that happen a lot.
It'd be the other way around. It could be
like me much
Lucifer, you know.
sometimes.
But what I'm saying is, you got a very negative charged energy, and you've got a very
you
highly charged
Well,
one.
again, you got to have a
Positive.
yin with a yang. You gotta
Right,
have
and you got
light
a balance. And in
dark.
life, we try to do that.
Always.
Yeah.
Balance. That's
Right.
why you try to live in the gray area.
Right.
If not-
Everybody does the best they can, and that's all you can do.
Exactly. That's why it's called the gray area.
Yeah.
Because it's the best I can. Nobody could be perfect, and you really just can't be a complete piece of crap.
Nah.
Well,
And everybody's
I mean,
gonna-
some people can, but the majority of people they live in that gray area of,
Yeah.
I do bad things, but they're not horrible, and I try to do good.
Exactly. You know, sometimes you do bad things in the name of good. You know?
What is that? The road to hell is paved in good intentions?
Yeah. You know, we all do the best we can, and that is what is to be said of it. And I feel that's the same thing with, you know, anybody, but I digress from that. But I just was explaining, like, where I am with that as far as people understand,
Right.
you know, and the whole concept of where I get with energy and why I think it's so important is I think it can explain a lot of things in the world that people eat without the definition or the description,
Right.
you know.
But again, faith is faith. And
Faith is
people,
faith.
People need it or want it.
Right.
To either keep them straight or find
Mhm.
the straightness.
Yeah.
My life feels so weird. It's so backwards. Well, have you tried such and such?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But tell me more.
Yeah.
It can straighten me out. And that's taken any way that you can take it, you know, be it Christianity, Muslim, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever suits you is perfectly fine.
Well, it also brings me to kind of the mediation world, and it's also to priesthood, and is because they allow themselves to believe, which means they allow themselves to relax and to accept energy, good or bad, within them, no matter what you're practicing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
if you want to go along that line and keep it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to put it back on track.
Yeah.
Being energy of what it is, and it being either because it's unexplainable.
Yeah.
Good things happen to me. I won the lottery. Well, something positive, and I believe when you do good, you get good,
Mhm.
because you put good energy out
Yep.
there.
Yep.
It will come back to you.
Yep.
And I just think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
And I don't think I just do good and you just don't. I don't want to say it's a give and rewards.
Pay it forward.
Right. You
Yeah.
pay it forward. It keeps on going.
Yeah. And
eventually it'll make its way back to you.
And I will say, one of the things I think makes our friendship so cool is the fact that typically me and you do that to each other. It bounces back and forth. And to let you guys know, he got me gifts for my kids today, and I know it's thanks to the Legion as well. But
I was
even
thinking
just
of my
the thought,
boy.
yeah, I have a messed up back, and oh my god, I was ecstatic because it does help. And
Well, I
It
looked
comes
at
up-
it this way. The kids, you got 100 of them.
right. More kids than most families, period. Even with adopted kids.
I knew it was hard this year.
Yeah.
And you guys being on the budget and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like, and we at the Legion, we do it every year. We have a sign up program, and then we have, walk-ins.
Yeah.
And we try to, do our own toy drive. So
And that's
they
the
have-
good energy you're talking about.
Exactly.
That
Do
comes
good,
around.
Project good.
Yeah.
It will come back around. But it isn't, you do the good energy. You don't put out good energy to get it back. You do it because it's good.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. It keeps you positive charge. It elevates you, makes you feel good. But to do it, I saw it and I was like, well, you're in a tight spot and you need, any little bit can help. So,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Really do. Whether I say it on air, it doesn't matter. I really appreciate it.
I know. That's why when you called me, I called you about it. You're like, dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah. The kids are like, I opened the door and Halloween's presents like, are they for us? I said, yeah, but not right now.
Not right
now. So they'll be ecstatic.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And bring joy
Mhm.
as much as possible, especially this time of year when this year, and I stress that enough, needs to come to an end. Guys, want to try to keep it
2020
on,
needs to go away.
and we wanted to end on a high note at least.
Yeah.
Not going, Oh my God, the world's burning. Well, look, it's 2021.
Yeah, if everybody thinks the world's burning and it's going to keep burning and they're never going to get off that track, they have to do the best they can and change. Yeah, exactly.
Change that energy.
Change that outlook. Change that energy.
Because enough people are putting it out there, it starts to change.
Yep. It will.
Well, it goes along like this. You put out negative energy, you start putting it out to a group, then it turns into a town, and it's just a gathering of this energy, and it just starts. And it's also a good way to
I mean, my wife, Becky may correct me on this, but this is just a feeling. A good way to combat a negative spirit is to have positive energy projected, and obviously you can have sage and and you use crystals, and there's a bunch of other things you can do. But if you're projecting, it does help. I mean, if you're feeding it fear or anger or anxiety or whatever, you're actually hurting yourself.
Right.
You're giving it the tools it needs to keep going and manifest or do whatever. So, yeah. Just get the positive energy, people. Stick with it. But yeah,
we all need it. Really bad.
More than ever.
Exactly.
I know our next episode will be including a special guest.
My sister.
Yep. And it will be in reference to Sellersville. Her experiences, my experiences.
Which is weird because the houses you guys lived in were literally down the same road.
Yeah.
On opposite ends.
We're the railroad station next
to the railroad.
Which is why I was talking
where the railroad tracks go across.
Yeah. It's sorry, Sellersville. I had bad experiences there. The town is great. I'm not knocking the town whatsoever. I just had some bad experiences, and I had to get out of Dodge pretty quick.
I don't think they stayed long either.
No.
I don't think so.
But
I'll let her explain that one.
Yeah.
Let her go into depth on what happened to her.
Sellersville is an interesting town. I mean, the brief history, it's I'll go over it next episode, but I will say that it's a town that was manifested by a guy. His name was Sutler. That was his name. And he purchased 800 acres in Sellersville. And it was part of a little tiny township. And then, of course, the rest of the acreage basically became Sellersville is what we know it today. And it was small. I mean, before it probably had a couple houses, and then it went to 15 and to 40. And now we have like over 200 households in Sellersville.
Plus a fire station.
Yeah, 2 schools. Yeah, I went to school there for some.
Actually, there's 3 schools. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah?
Well, there's the elementary school, the old middle school, which is condemned now, and then the new middle school.
Wow.
That was supposed to be a high school.
Oh, yeah, because I went to middle school there, and I think it might have been a high school prior. But
back when
we were
little
shits.
No, before then. Our parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because the Centerville Middle School, no, not Centerville, Touchdown Middle,
right,
used to be a high school.
Yeah,
back when our parents were back then.
When did we get old? I still don't consider myself old. I still consider myself a little kid running around acting like a fool.
I'm too stupid.
I don't know how my wife puts up with me. I need to be one of those kids with the leash, walking down the mall. Come here, James.
Yours would be the retractable.
Oh, God, thanks. Retractable leash and well, never mind. I won't go into the whip stuff. Whiplash. But we will be going over Sellersville next week, and I'm trying to keep my episodes short right now. Like I said, video stuff will be coming in the future, and we'll be on. Now, I'm working to bringing this to a close. You lost a loved one recently.
Yes.
Okay, and I really wanted this episode to be in memory of her. So,
this year's been mean to our family, anyways. Yeah. I've lost my father, her mother, and our uncle.
Oh, wow!
All in this year.
Yeah,
February, April, and now.
Wow. Yeah, and I can feel that energy right now. Talking about
it's starting to bring me down, man.
Yeah, but look. I mean, the thing is you've lost some loved ones. As a group, you're loved. I love you. So, I do. You're family, and I know you know that. And this is in memory for her. So,
thanks. I really appreciate it.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up, and check us out next episode, Paranormal Synergy, episode 3. It'll be about Sellersville and the railroads, and we have our special guest.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Hopefully.
Peace.
All things considered.